Hey y'all, welcome to back Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. We're the Morgans and we're happy to have y'all here with us today. Remember to hit that subscribe, like, and hit the bell button. Hey everybody, welcome back to Back Porch Cooking and Reminiscing. And if y'all watched our last video, we did Miss Audrey's creamy macaroni and cheese. And I told you in that video that next day or two we'd come back and show you something you could do with your leftover macaroni and cheese. And so that's what we're going to do today. Um, when I was a kid, we used to eat the boxed cheeseburger macaroni, and I loved it. Thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And then somewhere along the line, I got introduced to homemade cheeseburger macaroni. And I'm telling you, it is just so much better than the box mix. So we're going to use our macaroni and cheese we had left over from the last video. And we're going to show you how to prepare that and have you another meal out of that macaroni and cheese, if you had any left over. We did have quite a bit left over because I made a big pot and there's only two of us here, so we did have quite a bit left over. So we're going to get the camera set here and we'll be back in just a few and we'll get started on this. All right, y'all, so we're ready to get started on this. Now, before I started filming, I did go ahead and cut up our onions, and this is one large sweet onion cut up. It's not super fine, but it's not in huge chunks, but that's going to be up to your preference, whether you want big chunks of onion or if you just like little chunks. So cut that however you want. But as I said, this is a one large sweet onion. And in our pot over here, I've already put our hamburger meat in there and got it turned on getting started. But we've got 2 pounds of ground beef, and I'm going to use this as a ground beef that we used in the restaurant. We had some left over, so I just cut it up and put it in Ziploc bags and put it in the freezer. So if you notice a little bit of darkness around it, that's from where it's been in the freezer, but nothing wrong with it. And of course, we got our salt and our pepper. We've got minced garlic, and we've got onion powder and garlic powder. And that's all we're going to put in this. So this is going to be a pretty simple little recipe. But let's go ahead and get our onions in there so they can start cooking as our hamburger meat starts to cook. Y'all, I'm telling you, there's nothing like this homemade cheeseburger macaroni. It's just so much better than a box mix is. And again, it's something you can do with your leftover macaroni and cheese. So let's stir those onions in. I got this sitting on about a 7, and that should be pretty good to get it started. And then we're going to add some of our seasonings to it. Now again, on seasonings, you use what you like to use as far as seasonings go. And just remember, as I always say, especially with the salt, you can overdo with the salt in the beginning. And you can come back and add more once you're through cooking it and you taste it and see what it's tasting like. But again, you can't take it away once you put it in there. So we're going to get all of our seasonings put in. And I'm not going to give you any tablespoon, teaspoon, or half teaspoon or anything like that, because again, this is going to be based on what you like and how you like to cook it. We're going to go with that was the minced garlic. We're going to go with a little bit of onion powder. Even though we put those onions in there, we're going to do a little onion powder to go along with it. And we're gonna put a little bit of garlic powder in there, even though we put the garlic in there too. All right, so we got all that in there. Now it's already starting to cook up. So we're just gonna leave that to sit here and cook. Break up that hamburger meat a little bit better. And again, that depends on how you like it. If you like it big pieces of hamburger, then leave it in big pieces. If you like it in smaller pieces, then just use your spoon and break it up into smaller pieces. And I kind of like mine a little bit about medium size. I like to know that I've got a piece of hamburger when I get it. But all right, so we're gonna put a lid on that and let that cook for just a little bit. But I'm gonna tell you a story about something that happened to us back when we were in the restaurant. I'm gonna turn the camera back up here where y'all can see me while I'm talking. So we were doing a Sunday dinner, and we were doing chicken and dumplings. So we always made that the day before. That way it could sit overnight and all the flavors soak into the dumplings, and then we'd reheat it when we came in the next day. So we had made these chicken and dumplings, or well, Audrey had made them. Big pot of chicken and dumplings. Probably hold 3 or 4 gallons of chicken and dumplings. And we'd been letting them sit and cool all evening long. So when we got ready to leave that night, I walked over and I put my hand on the side of the pot. Pot was good and cool. So I grabbed the lid, I put the lid on it, put it in the cooler, let it sit till the next day. So we come in the next morning and we get ready to get the chicken and dumplings out. And undoubtedly, the dumplings was still hot right in the center. And they had soured the whole pot. Probably at least 3.5 gallons of chicken and dumplings that was going to be our Sunday dinner for that day had soured. Had to throw them away. So, we're thinking, what can we do? Because, we came in at like 10 o'clock. We opened at 11. So we had an hour to get something done. And so this is what we did. We did a homemade cheeseburger macaroni, and we served it with a couple of vegetables. I don't remember what we served it with, but people seemed to like it. They were disappointed that they didn't get the dumplings because we had already posted on Facebook that the dumplings were going to be what we were going to have. But like I say, they seemed to enjoy the cheeseburger macaroni. So, and as I said, it's a favorite of ours here at home. This is something that we really enjoy doing and having to eat. So I'm gonna get this hamburger meat stirred up here. It's cooking real nice. Oh, and smelling good too. And like I say, just remember, break your hamburger down however big or small pieces that you want it in. Just stir it up real good so everything cooks. We probably looking at maybe another 5 to 10 minutes on this. Those onions are starting to turn translucent. And then once we get that done, we'll drain this out and get all the grease out of it. I wish we had smell-o-vision so y'all could smell how good this smells. All right. I'm going to pull the camera back down there a little bit where you can kind of see what that's looking like. There we go. You can see it's coming along nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and put that lid back on it. So yeah, we learned a really valuable lesson about the chicken and dumplings. So after that, we made sure that we didn't put a tight lid on it. We just put some aluminum foil over the top of it and put it in the cooler and leave it like that. And we never had that happen to us again. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a break here from the video and let this hamburger finish cooking, and we'll be back here in just a little bit. All right, so after getting all this hamburger cooked and thinking about it, I realized that again, there's only two of us here that will be eating this. So I've taken about a pound of that hamburger and put it to the side. I've got an idea for that for later on. So I've reduced this down to about a pound of hamburger. And then I'm not going to use all of the macaroni and cheese that we had left over. It'll just be way too much. But again, we'll eat on this for a couple of days probably, but after a couple of days, we'll be tired of it and just really don't want to waste this good hamburger meat. So we're going to condense it down a little bit. Now, again, if you're cooking for a big family, you've got 4 or 5 people that's going to be eating it, a couple pounds and a lot of macaroni and cheese, it's going to be fine. But if it's just, a few of you, a couple people, maybe 3 people, you might want to cut it down a little bit like what I've done here. So, but we got it all cooked and we got everything's ready to go. So we're going to start putting our macaroni and cheese in there that was left over from a couple of days ago. And then once we get some in there, we'll stir it up and just see where we're at on it. See if we need to add more to it or what we might need to do with that. Y'all, this is going to be amazing once we get it done. All right, let's put that in there and let's give it a stir and see what we got. Get our hamburger and our onions and everything incorporated into that macaroni and cheese. And I've got the stove, just got it on low. It's on about a 2 right now, just heating up because macaroni came straight out of the refrigerator. And I believe we might could stand another spoonful or 2 of mac go in there. So let's get a couple more. All right, let's see what we're looking like there now. Again, I like mine really, really beefy, so I like a good mixture of burger to noodles, and I think that's what we're going to have here. That's looking pretty good right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on low, put the lid back on, and let that macaroni heat up, and we'll come back and give it a taste here in just a little bit. Alrighty, so I believe we are done here. We brought it to just a real light simmering boil, but it's got everything is good and hot now. So you know what that means. It's time to taste test it. So let's get a bowl and see what we got. All right. All right, y'all. That's what we got. And it looks and smells delicious. So can't wait to try it. So we're going to do that here in just a second. Now, one thing we'll tell you this, that once you taste it, if you need to add some more seasonings to it, you've got plenty of opportunity to add the seasonings to it. If it doesn't taste like it's got enough salt or not enough pepper or not enough garlic, or not, whatever you think. Also, sometimes when you taste it, you may need to add a little more cheese to it. If you think you need some more cheese, if it doesn't taste cheesy enough, grab you 3 or 4 more slices of that American cheese that you used in the macaroni and cheese. Put it in there, bring it to a real light boil, stir that cheese around until it gets incorporated in. And this is just one of those things. Sometimes you got a trial and error on it, and add a little more to it as you go. But I'm about ready to try this and see how it tastes. So I'm gonna pull our camera back up there and see if I can get myself in the picture. Now let's turn it just a little more. All right. So again, as I say, that's what it looks like. So let's try a bite. See what we got. And it is steaming hot. So yeah, it's going to take just a minute. It smells so good. All right, here we go. I'm going to tell y'all, that is perfect cheeseburger macaroni. And like I say, it's better than anything you're going to get out of a box mix. So if you got that macaroni and cheese left over from our Miss Audrey's macaroni and cheese recipe, do this. Next day, 2 days after, this macaroni will hold up in the refrigerator for at least 3 or 4 days. You can still use it, still do this with it. But I'm telling you, this is some really, really good stuff. And this is the kind of food you want to eat in the wintertime because it will stick to your ribs. And, good meal. The only thing that made it better, and I intended to do it, but I forgot about it, is to make some crescent rolls. And that would have went really well with this. But you can do vegetables. You can do whatever you want. Anything you want is going to be good. Doesn't matter. This will enhance the taste of anything. So hey, y'all, give this a try. I really think you'll enjoy it. Like I say, one of our family's favorites. Well, definitely one of my favorites. And even the people in the restaurant when we were in Monteagle, we had to make this that day for the mess up on the dumplings. Everybody that got it really seemed to like it. So I think you will too. And again, glad to have y'all here with us today. Remember, subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and then y'all compare how it turned out for you. Who had the best. And hopefully we're going to get at least one more video on here this week. It's going to be a reminiscing video. I'm going to talk about some things that happened back when I was a kid. And I'll tell you the story about how I almost died when I was 5 years old. So y'all come back and check in and see when we get that video up. It may be Friday before we get to that. But y'all come back and check in with us. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And I'm going to finish my cheeseburger macaroni because it is good.